Fantastic. So without further ado, let's get started. Life is a breeze. How HubSpot's AI is going to transform your business in 2025. So for those who don't know me, my name is Daniel Jenkins. I'm a commercial director here at Wagada Digital. Couple of things about me. I love HubSpot and I also love LinkedIn. So if we're not connected on LinkedIn, you can grab me from that QR code and let's get connected over on there. I've been at the company now for about 7 years. And yeah, as I say, Daniel Jenkins, commercial director. It's not all about me, though. I am part of a growing team of specialists and digital experts across multiple locations in the UK. We're an award-winning digital agency here at Wagada. We offer an array of HubSpot solutions, digital marketing services, website development, and employer branding as well. As I mentioned, we've got 3 locations. So we're in London, St Albans, and Cheltenham, and we do have that team of specialists with expert in-depth knowledge. We've amassed a wealth of knowledge and expertise over a number of years in a range of industries. And obviously, we are now able to share and impart that knowledge with you and support our clients on their growth journeys. And just finally, before I hand over to our expert today, I just want to draw your attention to an offer that we've been running. So if you are a HubSpot user, if you're looking for you or your team to get more out of HubSpot, our spot check solution is here to help. So you can use that QR code, but we will also send all of the details in the follow-up. And James or another member of the team will be able to jump in there, have a little look at what you're doing, let you know what it is that you could be taking further, how to get the most out of your subscription, and give you a bit of a spot check checklist on how to ramp up your HubSpot usage in 2025 and beyond. Perfect. So that's it from me. And now I'm going to hand you over to our digital transformation specialist, James. Over to you, James.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Morning for everyone. Thank you for joining. For those who don't know me, I'm James and I'm digital transformation specialist. And I've been at Wagada for almost 4 years now. I'm part of the transformation team where we support our clients with their HubSpot needs, as well as their general maintenance of their HubSpot accounts. And a couple of months ago, I attended the HubSpot Inbound conference in Boston, which you can tell from the picture there. And it was an amazing event, and I'll be sharing some of the main takeaways from Inbound in this session. Now, without a doubt, the hot topic at this event was to do with HubSpot's new AI feature called Breeze. So today we'll run through some use cases of Breeze in practice. We'll discuss how Breeze can help overcome some of the barriers to success that your sales and marketing teams are currently facing. I'll also be covering the ins and outs of Breeze's capabilities and demo some of the features available. And then I'll summarize with a bit of a 5-step action plan on how you can start to implement some of these AI tools within your organization. So what's new? So just to give you an overview of what Breeze actually is, well, it's an AI tool developed by HubSpot designed to help users and with tasks related to content creation, customer service, and business operations. And the tool integrates with HubSpot's platform to provide businesses with more efficient ways to manage their tasks and optimize their operations. And there are 3 main new features within HubSpot Breeze. So up first, we have Copilot, which is a virtual assistant that works with you everywhere you go in HubSpot. Then we've got Breeze Intelligence, which helps enrich contact and company data within your CRM. And lastly, we have 4 new agents as part of HubSpot Breeze, and these help to automate manual tasks and work for you, crucially. So that you can focus on more strategic work, but more on those shortly. So I'm going to kick things off with Copilot, which is a conversational AI tool in HubSpot. And that kind of acts as a virtual assistant to help with your sales, marketing, and service goals. And the great thing is it's available with all HubSpot subscriptions. It's really good for content creation, allowing you to write, optimize, and revise content for emails, landing pages, blogs, images, you name it. It supports with the management of your CRM records, so helping you summarize these records, as well as automatically creating and updating note and tasks on these. From a sales point of view, it's great for drafting follow-up emails, researching your competitors, and even summarizing your deal pipelines. From a marketing perspective, you can generate your blogs, your social media posts, and even marketing emails. Or if your main focus is on service support, Copilot can even recommend customer support ticket responses and summarize those complex interactions. So yeah, there's so much that Copilot can do, and I've been using it a lot personally since HubSpot introduced it. So just to give you an idea of how Copilot works, let's take a look and ask it some questions. Now, the way I've been thinking about Copilot is that it's a bit like ChatGPT for your HubSpot portal, And if you're already using ChatGPT, you know the drill. You ask it a question and it will search online. It will come back with some facts and figures that you're looking for, or it will summarize information on a topic, or it will give you an outline for an email to a prospect. But Copilot helps with all of those things as well, but it helps directly in the platform by using your business data and insights. So firstly, there are a few ways you can access Copilot. And if you can see my cursor up here on the top right of the navigation bar, this will open up a chat window. And this will be the main way that most people will access it. And we'll come to that in a second. If I just play the demo, you can also access it through this summarize contact button, which is really handy, particularly for salespeople who are working through a contact list, because you don't need to go into each record to get information or even to make some actions. As you can see here, clicking on the icon has given me a top level look at Fred's important data, plus any engagement he's had, any deals he's in, and so on. But I can dig even deeper into this data. I can draft an email, I can set up a task, such as setting up a call. And there you go, it's done it for me, which is awesome. And I've got a call with Fred on Tuesday for 3 p.m. So I think for anyone who is managing a lot of contacts, this will make everything a little bit easier. But let's look at some of the other ways we can use Copilot. And if we start a new chat and we use the little expand to full screen icon to get a bit of a better view. Now, I'd imagine that many of the marketers in the room are already using generative AI for help with things like writing blogs or your landing pages, and you can ask Copilot to do that too. Here, I've just asked for a landing page for our next webinar where Dan's going to be hosting that. And I've got a nice little bio generated from his LinkedIn account. Oh, and by the way, we'll talk a little bit more about content generation shortly with the new content agent in a little while. Now, where Copilot really comes into its own is by helping you to extract data insights without configuring multiple filters or reports. So this is particularly useful for managers and operations, but equally for salespeople and marketing teams who have been asked a question and need an answer quickly. And there's many ways you could use it. So say you're a sales manager and you try to identify your top closer. You can simply ask Copilot this. And you can see here, we've got some highlights and see that Ruth's great at closing. Now, I just want to say a note here, although the names are real in here, the numbers that you're about to see are fictitious and they're all from our demo account. But now I want to know who actually makes the most money. So I'm going to change the prompt slightly and we'll give it a little second to have a think. And even though Copilot's smart, it's a little bit slow at the moment, it's thinking about it. But you can see here, Dan's actually come out on top. And we've got some more really handy information in here about all the sum closed amounts in here. But you can dig even deeper. I want to know what Dan's average deal value was. And we'll give that a little second to have a think again. But whilst we're giving it a second, you can see here you've got this edit and report builder. So you can edit and these reports as you wish and manipulate these as much as you want to. And there we go. We've got some more data fired there from Copilot. Now, from a marketing point of view, you might want to find the best performing campaign from the last year in 2024. And we'll give that a second again. And it actually turns out, in this case for our demo account, that it was a webinar campaign back at the start of the year. And it produces a little line graph, which helps us to see how much better it performed compared to the others. And there we go. We've got a nice little option there. Now, I know another question I know that marketers get asked a lot is how many MQLs have you generated this month or year? And we can ask that too. Now, as we wait for it to load, Copilot is only as good as the data in your system. So it's really important that you make sure this data is clean, it's accurate, it's all up to date. But there we go. And again, you can see that it's given us some highlighted insight in the table with some monthly breakdowns. So yeah, there really is so much you can do with Copilot, and it's definitely a case for experimenting with these prompts. Essentially though, if you have data in the platform, you can ask questions about it and how it relates to any of the data. But yeah, that's Copilot. Now, if you like Copilot, the Breeze agents are also a bit of a game changer. And I mentioned at the start that Dan and I, we went to this year's Inbound in Boston, and I can tell you now that the audience were absolutely loving the new agents as the different speakers were demoing each of these. Now, although at Inbound, they had Ryan Reynolds and Serena Williams, and I don't have those with me as a guest speaker today, but I do have Dan Jenkins with me, commercial director of Wagada. So I guess that's the next best thing. But I'll do my best to live up to the demos we got at Inbound. So just to give you an idea about the agent. So they've been designed to automate manual tasks and work for you so that you can focus on that more strategic work. Just a note to say that some of these agents are available if you opt into the private beta. There's 4 new agents. So up first, we have the social agent, which essentially helps you to generate some social media content. Then there's the content agent, which produces a whole range of content elements, such as landing pages or blogs. Then we've got prospecting agent, which has been designed to enhance your sales prospecting efforts. And lastly, we have the customer agent, which is basically the creation of your very own chatbot. And this has been designed to enhance your customer support operations. So let's go and have a look at these. So first up, we'll have a look at the social agent. And this agent is centered around supporting your social media strategy, and it uses data-driven insights to create engaging multi-channel social content. And in turn, this can save your social team so much time and resources while maintaining that quality and consistency in audience engagement. But before I go into our demo account, if you haven't used a social agent before, you need to set this up. And you're going to come across this screen first of all. So when you go to set it up, you'll click on the button there. You'll then get presented with some questions regarding your target audience and your company. So there you go. It's going to ask you to tell a little bit more about yourself and your target social network. Oh, and by the way, another shout out for Copilot. These 2 bits of content you can see on here are generated from those. So it's done that in no time. Then once you've done that, you'll then be asked to review your branding, and you'll have a couple of example posts made for you. But by the way, once you've added these and hit launch, that doesn't mean that you can't change these. You might change your mind later on. You can see my cursor here. You can hit on this account defaults button. You can find that in your settings. You can change that as you need to. So once you've launched your social agent, you're ready to go. So let's go and have a little look in the agent. So you want to make sure that you're on the agent tab, where you'll see here we've got a load of different social post category suggestions. For this demo, I'm going to go for calendar events. Now, Black Friday's coming up, but we're all busy, and this post creation might slip through the net. But the good thing about social agent is you don't have to think about all these events. It's there for you. So now, Wagada, we don't actually sell anything for Black Friday, but you can see with the content in here that the agent has actually adapted this for us, which is really, really smart. You can see as I'm flicking through the different tabs here, it's creating these different posts for each different channel, which is really, really handy. You don't need to go in and out of different channels. And there you go. You can see there, I just clicked on the generate content button there. And you can see when I hit that, it gives me 3 options to go through. 3 different versions of the same post, but there's slightly different iterations. So I can change this as I need to. If I'm not happy, I can regenerate it again. And then once you're happy, once you're ready to go, make sure that your social accounts are connected, and it will schedule that for you. There you go. It's already there, ready for next week, 29th of November. I don't even have to think about that. That's ready to go, which is really, really awesome. But I'll also quickly run through one of the other categories we've got. And let's go for the educational content. And now you can see here that I've already set up an educational prompt for HubSpot. And you can add up to 5 of these, and they're super easy to add. But the great thing about this is Social Agent will go ahead and generate some posts based on these topics of expertise that you've chosen. So I'm going to go in there, and then you'll see here there's 3 posts already made. And then I can review these. I can change these very similarly to the category post generator. So yeah, and you'll see demo here. I'm going through the same process. I'm looking at the copy. I can generate my images if I need to. And that's really handy. Now, I just wanted to emphasize that whilst the demo is playing in the background, that all of these categories are a starting point, and they're just providing recommendations for social posts and campaigns. But this is great for those in B2B industries looking to build thought leadership, as the social agent can help you promote the expertise of your business to clients by using the likes of those educational content prompts in no time at all. So you save so much time with this. And yeah, I love the social agent. So that's social agent. And we'll move on to the content agent now. And this agent is particularly good for helping marketers create various types of content, so landing pages, podcasts, case studies, blog posts. And I think this tool is particularly brilliant because it actually uses your CRM data to ensure that the content that gets generated aligns with your brand's voice, and it's ultimately effective in engaging with your target audience. So you don't get that with other content generators like ChatGPT, where you have to set up your own custom versions and add in context to your prompts every time, such as your brand voice. But Content Agent does that. It skips that all for you. And you've got that set up ready to go. So let's go and have a look at this in action. And let's go. So you can see here, if it comes to the left-hand side, it's always available in marketing setup, and you can see there I've clicked on the generate and start with AI button, or you can go via the main Breeze dashboard and select the Content Agent in here. And then here we go. We've got our landing pages, podcasts, case studies. But for this one, I'm going to create a blog. I'd like to create a blog on this version. And for this one, I'm going to write a topic about Breeze and how good it is. So I want to know about the benefits of HubSpot. One thing to note here as I'm typing away, it's really handy to give as much information as possible here, just to give the AI tool as much info as possible. For the SEO guys in the room, we can add in our keywords. We can set our target audience, so UK. You can set the language of those for those who are international companies in here. And we can also select the type of industry we want to target. And we can also add a customer profile to really make that this content customized. Then you'll hit generate, and we'll get some blog post ideas. So free generate straight away. You can see here, again, for the SEO guys in the room, we've got our monthly search volume. So we'll select those. And then we're presented with an outline. So it's going to show us all these different headings it's created. I can move these up and down. I can edit these. I can add talking points if I want to make this point even more customized. And I want to know a little bit more about Marketing Hub here. I can add more paragraph headers if I need to, but I'm not happy with them. And again, I can generate these titles here. Really, really handy to have. And then I'm going to generate that blog post. So in true Blue Peter style, here's one I actually made earlier because it takes a little bit of time for it to work. This image up here, I'm going to show you now in the demo that you can generate a new image with AI if you want to. You've got different styles you can choose from, different dimensions. Just need to add a little prompt in there. That image there is actually AI generated, which is really cool. And you can see all of our headings in here. But if I hit on that little diamond icon, which is actually Copilot, again, another shout out, I can then add images. I can add new content. I can add new headers in here. And I'm going to add another image in here. This time I want an image of the HubSpot team. And there we go. It's done that for me. And although that guy at the front there is looking a bit weird, and remember, it is AI, so you can add your own images if you need to. But yeah, the great thing is it's already formatted everything for me. I don't need to worry about that. It's fantastic. But if we go into settings, you can see here we've got this post narration as well. It's another new feature with Breeze. It'll generate this with AI, so really good from a user experience point of view for those with visual impairments. And then again, for meta description, again, for the SEO guys in the room, we can generate that instantly, and we can set those as we need to. So yeah, we have a similar process for landing pages, but I think the really brilliant thing about Content Agent is it does a lot of heavy lifting for you in terms of generating the content in the first place, but then formatting it to fit into your brand template. So having all those SEO factors covered for you with the different headings, metadata, think of all that time you're going to save. And you don't get that with the other tools. You can ask for a blog creation in ChatGPT, but then you still have to take that content. You then have to go away and then format it in the way that you want it to be to match your template. And Content Agent takes that all that away from you and gives you so much time back. So now I'm going to hand over to Dan, who's going to talk a little bit more about the prospecting agent. And he certainly knows a thing or two about prospecting, being commercial director of Wagada.
Yeah, cheers, James. Yeah, no, it's exciting to pitch in on this bit. So, look, I think what's really interesting and what James and I certainly got from when we were in Boston and speaking with not only other businesses, but obviously, the guys behind the scenes at HubSpot who are the people building the product, is that prospecting is one of the most important aspects of day-to-day work for a sales division or for a sales team. And also in the sense that historically it's been one of the most challenging to both organize and also execute. So while certain aspects of these agents are very, very new and quite sort of embryonic, they're already starting to change the face of how we can approach prospecting, the capabilities of prospecting, and what it is that we can get out of it. So in HubSpot, you've now got the whole prospecting dashboard, which comes before any deals and deal pipelines. But there's so many benefits to the way that AI can now support you with that kind of enablement aspect. So I know James has touched upon content generation, but think of it much more as operational enablement and how it's going to completely change the capabilities of your sales team. So some of the initial key benefits. Oh, sorry, James, if we just go back a second. That's all right. So some of the initial key benefits would be those kind of multiple enrollment options, including kind of engagement-based triggers. So triggers and notifications based on how people are engaging with the brand. Automated research. So, AI being able to do that deeper research for you on your prospects and the businesses that you're prospecting with. And then that kind of prioritization of high value leads and how it can sort of do the heavy lifting for you in that regard. I think as well, when you're setting up any of these, if you sign up, obviously this is in that kind of beta stage. If you sign up and get yourself set up on agents, then you need to treat the setup of that as if you're training a new rep, as if you're bringing somebody into the company and you're training them up. So even though this is AI, you need to approach it in that regard. So you need to make sure that you're giving that agent as much information as possible about who you are, your services, your tone of voice, so on and so forth. Try the agent with manual enrollments at first and in semi-autonomous mode, so you can monitor results and refine before going fully autonomous. So again, it can start to actually figure things out for you in that prospecting dashboard so that you're not having to do all of that heavy lifting yourself. Over to you, James, on customer agent demo.
Yeah, cheers, Dan. So yeah, we'll run through the customer agent now, and this has been designed to help enhance customer support operations. And I guess this is essentially like a chatbot for your website, but it isn't your typical chatbot that you're probably used to, where it takes you down a particular route based on answers to questions it presents you with. And what the content agent does, it automates your ticket resolution by using existing content resources, such as your knowledge base articles in HubSpot, public URLs, to not only provide accurate responses, but crucially personalize your customer inquiries. And in turn, that helps build that trust with them. So this agent could be really handy if you're a business who gets lots of support ticket emails come through. Having a chatbot in place could save time, not only for the user to find a solution, but also for your support team. And that can help them then go ahead and focus on those really priority support tickets that do require a little bit more time and can't be answered over a chatbot. But before I give a quick demo of this, obviously you need to set this up as well. And in this process, you can customize the agent to match your brand. And then you can go ahead and train the agent in literally a matter of minutes, where it will look at your website, it will look at your knowledge base, it will look at external web pages to make sure your content is relevant, and so it can provide accurate responses. So when you're setting up the agent, you'll give it a name, and then you'll have 3 roles to choose from out of customer support, marketing specialist, and sales representative. And what I think is quite cool with this is you can give it its own personality as well. So you can make it friendly, professional, or witty, just making sure that even your chatbot is matching your brand's tone of voice. And then you need to give your agent some data sources to find this accurate and relevant information. You need at least one source for this. So you can add existing HubSpot content, such as website pages or blogs, but this could be anything, and it doesn't have to be published, which is really handy. It just needs to be in your HubSpot in order for it to be used. And then you also add your public URL. So for this demo, we've put in wagada.co.uk. You might already be using the chat flow feature, but this can take it to another level and offer even better, more personalized user experience. So let me show you a little bit more about this. So you want to head into the Breeze widget again. You'll head into the overview tab, and then you can launch the customer agent in there. And we'll give it a sec to load. Now, I want to put this to the test. I actually want to find out, right, who is Daniel Jenkins? Now, I know we all know, but I want to know if the customer agent knows. So we'll give that a sec. And again, it's just finding that information from the existing data in HubSpot. And there we go. We've got a little breakdown of who Dan is, and it even tells me the source of it. So now I'm just going to run through the different tabs. So up here, we've got the content tab. So this gives you a bit of a breakdown of the sources of information you feed into the agent to answer these questions. So, and you can add or remove content as it evolves over time. Then we've got the performance tab. So this will show you some reports, and you can see here that there isn't any data at the moment because it's our demo account. We haven't pushed this live, but it will show you some reports of how the agent's performing, so you can identify what's working and what's not working. Then we've got the channels tab, which shows you all the chat flows you have, and it allows you to assign your AI agent to specific chat flows on your website. So if you're an e-commerce website, let's say, you could train your customer agent to focus purely on product information on one of your product area pages, let's say. And then right at the very end, we've got agent profile, so you can go in and change the customization of this if you need to. But just to give you an idea of how the chat flows look once it's all set up, here's a look at this homepage example we've done. I've put a little image of Dan on there. But yeah, you can. That's the customer agent. You can keep adding more and more content to this agent. Keep training it up before eventually you're ready to roll it out onto one of your channels, such as your website or even through Facebook Messenger. So that's all the agents covered, and now we'll finish up with Breeze Intelligence. And this is all about bringing data into HubSpot and then enriching its data. This enhances the HubSpot customer platform in 3 ways. So through data enrichment, buyer intent analysis, and form shortening capabilities. And by the way, the way this works is by integrating data from public sources, third-party vendors, and online interactions to enhance your contact and company records. And so the intelligence tool can help your business identify target markets, assess website visitor intent, maintain that updated CRM data. And just note to say that this is available on all HubSpot plans, which is great. So as part of Breeze Intelligence, we have this enrichment technology. So this is where Clearbit has been embedded into HubSpot, so we can enrich contacts, companies, and we can do it automated enrichment so that whenever there's gaps missing in the contact record, such as the role of a contact, social profiles, the employer's location, it can just go and find them and update these. We can also bulk upload data. So let's say you're someone who gets loads and loads of form submissions and you have data from forms over the last year and there's gaps missing there. You can bulk upload those and enrich them, which is really, really useful. So this not only keeps your CRM up to date without spending loads of time manually filling in those gaps, it also helps your team better understand your customers, allowing for more personalized interactions, which would play a part in securing that new customer. Ultimately, it gives you the context needed to convert your best opportunities to the right action at the right time. Then we have buyer intent, which helps you understand which website visitors are most likely to become customers by analyzing their behavior. And that's even if they're not in your CRM, which is really, really powerful. And it does this by tracking companies which are visiting your website and see what they're engaged with, such as this could be your pricing page, this could be your contact page. Then it will rank visitors based on their activity, showing you the ones with the highest intent, which then ties into another benefit of the buyer intent feature, as it then lets you focus on those top leads to prioritize outreach and improve those conversions. So you can save so much time not only having to go through records and see who's engaging with what, but you have that reassurance that the time and effort you put into these leads is likely going to be worthwhile. So I like to think of the buyer intent feature as a spotlight on your most interested potential buyers. And lastly, we have form shortening, which makes it easier for visitors to fill out those forms by automatically pre-filling any known information. So it will use existing data to reduce the number of fields visitors need to complete, which in turn makes forms quicker, more user-friendly to encourage those submissions. Then ultimately, this will support in improving those conversion rates and minimizing that friction in the sign-up process. It comes back to that user experience mindset. You know, we're all human. We want things to be done as quickly as possible. I don't want to be spending my time filling in loads of tedious fields. So think of form shortening as giving your visitors a head start so that they're more likely to hit submit. So that's all of the ins and outs of what's new with Breeze. But off the back of this, here are 5 things that we recommend you go ahead and action. So first of all, as soon as you've come on this call, opt into all the betas and the agents that you think will be useful for your business. But do this sooner rather than later, as there is a bit of a waiting list to be granted this access. Start to use Copilot today. It's right there waiting to be used, where you'll gain structured insights from your raw data quickly. Then think about your using the results you get from Copilot. If you're not getting what you need, or if it looks off or incomplete, you might need a little data cleanse or a review of how you use some of the other tools in your account. But also suggest trying out some of the content generation tools for your next landing page or blog. You don't need to do everything at once, but test and move forward with what works for you. And then lastly, think about how you might want to train the social and prospecting agents. If you don't have the answers to some of the questions it's asking, use it as an opportunity to understand these things about your business. Have a little think about that. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you everyone for your time. Just to let you know about some of our next upcoming webinars. So on the 3rd of December, my colleague Bex, she'll be doing another HubSpot webinar, and she'll be talking through HubSpot reporting and dashboards and how you can bring all of the data together by leveraging canned, custom, and AI generated reports. And then a couple of days after, on the 5th of December, our social media manager, Ellie, will be sharing her insights and tools that you need to stay ahead in the ever-evolving world of social media, giving you a bit of a blueprint for the new year. So make sure you get yourself registered for those. And yeah, I'm going to pass back over to Dan for any questions.
Thanks so much, James. That was fantastic. Guys, I'm sure there was a huge amount of insight for you in there. I know it's a short, sharp 30 minutes, but obviously it's really good for us to be able to just kind of open the door on some of Breeze's capabilities. And then as we sort of move into 2025, the plan is to kind of, home in on those a little bit more and go into specifics. I popped some details in the chat earlier for the link as well for our next HubSpot webinar on reporting. And then we'll make sure that we get all of that over to you, as well as the forthcoming social media webinar that James mentioned as well. So thank you again, James. That was brilliant. What we are going to do, we will stay on for a couple of minutes. So Giuseppe had a question, and I've got Bex on this call as well, by the way. So Bex, you might want to jump in. Bex is our digital transformation manager here at Wagada. So Giuseppe was asking on Content Agent, does it allow for multiple content types, including podcasts and landing pages? So Bex, James, any insight on that?
Yeah, there's loads. You've got blogs, landing pages, case studies, and podcasts. There's four areas to focus on there. So answer to the question, yes. So give it a try.
Yeah. I absolutely. Giuseppe, I think you were saying about it recording audio and things. What the agents do is they enhance the features that are already there. So obviously you've already got the podcast tool within HubSpot. What the agent will do is help you to create the scripts, edit your audio, and all of that kind of stuff. You would still use the podcast tool initially to get that going. Does that answer your question? Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, perfect. I had another question come through about levels. This is a private question about kind of levels of subscription and what level of subscription you need to be able to access some of these aspects of AI. James, I think you touched on that a little bit earlier, but in terms of professional, starter, what's your understanding in those areas?
Yeah, so obviously we'll send out the deck, and I've put some information on the different subscription types in there. But all of the agents are available through the private beta. And so feel free to sign up to those. But if you want to get the full versions of these, there are different types that you need to. A lot of the time it's the pro version, so Sales Pro or Marketing Pro. But yeah, we've got some details on the slides if you want to have a look at those.
Nice. We've had another question come through. This is a great question. So I'm not sure, Dex, or James, if you have any thoughts or knowledge on this area at the moment. Charles Cooper is asking, from a security point of view, do you know if there are any guardrails set up on HubSpot's Copilot? I know that we work with a lot of cyber and tech firms as well, and we look at a lot of what they need from a website build perspective, as well as utilization of CRM. What's your knowledge in those areas in terms of with Copilot?
Yeah, so I can take that one. I think it is a great question, and it is something we'd probably need to look into a bit more to understand what the concerns might be with it. I think in terms of what Copilot does, it only looks into your own data, and it will only provide back data to the user that that they already have access to within the system
Yeah.
anyway. So if you are, say you've got revenue data and a marketing person is looking for it and you wouldn't usually give that to them, that would be about setting it up within your settings so they couldn't see that data anyway.
Mm.
Does that answer that? Was that kind of what you were thinking?
And obviously it means that you're not spreading everything across a wide tech stack, right? So if you're using things like ChatGPT or I don't know,
Yeah,
Claude, or
you would never put that stuff in.
you're going much wider. Funny enough, when you talk to a lot of brands about things like especially with like generative AI or content generation, and one of their biggest concerns is that they feel the need to pump customer information basically into another tool. So it's like they go to ChatGPT and they're like, oh, write me a report on XYZ, and in order to do that, I need to give you this person's name, this person's details. Like we talked about numbers earlier, like as you say, revenue generation, right? But now you're doing that in a much more closed-ended ecosystem where it's all that's what you've already got that stuff.
You're not feeding it out onto the internet like you are with some of the other tools.
Yeah. And I think that's the way a lot of things, when you think about tools that are baking in AI, it does support that slightly more closed-ended approach. Yeah. Perfect. Any final questions or anything that we haven't covered? No? Wonderful. Well, listen, folks, thank you so much. You will get a copy of the recording. You'll get a copy of the deck as well. Thank you to James. And a big thank you to Bex as well. We've had some lovely feedback in the chat from various people. Fantastic insight into HubSpot. Brilliant presentation. Yeah, lots of thanks and positive sentiment. So we really do appreciate that. If you have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out on LinkedIn. As I say, we do support a lot of brands with everything from HubSpot onboarding through to HubSpot implementation, email sequencing, workflow setup, you name it, as well as obviously AI enablement and how you can get the most out of Breeze and Copilot and so on and so forth. So if there's anything that you'd like to discuss further, don't hesitate to drop me a line. But for now, have a great rest of the day, a fantastic rest of the week. Enjoy your weekend and best of luck in your HubSpot journey. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.